Zweig Group invites all AEC industry leaders to the 2024 AEC Small Business and Entrepreneurship Forum, the premier event for small firms in the AEC sector. Experience innovative strategies and insights on May 21st, crafted by Zweig Group's industry experts. Engage in keynotes and interactive sessions focused on recruitment, retention, and business growth. Join Zweig Group for this unique networking opportunity and take your business to new heights. Secure your spot today and be part of the AEC industry's future. Visit zweiggroup.com for more information. The Zweig Group team looks forward to welcoming you.
Welcome to the Zweig Letter Podcasts, putting architectural, engineering, planning, and environmental consulting guru Mark Zweig and his team of experts straight talk in your ear. Mark has more than 30 years of experience helping AEP and environmental firms thrive. And these podcasts deliver his invaluable management, industry, client, and HR advice directly to you, free of charge. The Zweig Letter and the Zweig Letter Podcasts let you develop professionally, wherever you are.
Hey everyone, and thank you for joining Zweig Group Media and the Zweig Letter exclusive interview series. With almost 25 years of continuous coverage of the design industry, the Zweig Letter is a constant in an ever-changing marketplace. We are bringing you some of the best and brightest minds that our industry has to offer. Today, I am pleased to welcome one of my fellow colleagues, Christy Zweig Niehaus, who is the Director of Marketing / everything else that you can think of here at Zweig Group. And Christy, it's just an honor to finally get you on the podcast. I've been twisting your arm for several months and threatening you that we were going to get you on one way or the other. And I finally corralled you on a holiday, no less, to leave your horse stable. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later, to come and spend a few minutes with us and talk about, what you do here at Zweig Group. So, welcome.
Thanks, Randy. It's great to be here.
That's cool. So why don't you tell the audience a little bit about what you do exactly here at Zweig Group? I mean, you wear so many different hats, but I know marketing is one of the main areas of focus for you. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I've worked in a variety of roles here at Zweig Group. I think I started off back in 2011 just doing social media. And since then, I've also written for the magazine, written for the Zweig Letter, been involved in the surveys and research department, and also been involved with our events and awards. So the past, I would say, year and a half, I've really focused on helping promote our awards program, and we can talk a little bit more about that later or
Sure.
another day.
Yep.
And I've kind of controlled the overall marketing philosophy of the company. For the past going on 2 years now, we've made a shift from doing a lot of what's considered outbound marketing, sending out a lot of materials, casting a very wide net, to doing a more inbound method of marketing, which is finding ways that we can bring new clients and customers to us, and also, demonstrate the value that we can give our clients and customers.
Okay. So it sounds like with the whole inbound, outbound thing, it's part of it is maybe an aversion to spam.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just over the past year or two, we've had some changes in the laws about purchasing email lists, how you can email people, how often you can send stuff out. And I think everybody here has seen that the spam filters on their email inbox have gotten to be just so much better and stronger. Yeah. So, you send too many emails, or you send emails that don't apply to people, they start opting out of them. And very quickly you can go from having a large list of potential clients and customers to having a small one.
Right. And at that point, obviously, whatever message you're trying to convey to your audience, to your buying public, gets lost.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you don't want that to happen. Sometimes you have people that do want to hear what you have to say, but have opted out for other reasons, or you've sent them too many things on too many subjects they aren't interested in, and then they don't get the things that they do want or need.
Wow. What successes have you had, do you think, with the inbound marketing approach as opposed to the outbound?
Well, here at Zweig Group, we have there's so many different things that we do, and we have so much, it would be called content, would be what the inbound marketing typically refers to these things. But we do lots of research. We have 18 to 20 different surveys. We have amazing consultants here that have opinions and experiences with a variety of situations. And it's so hard for us sometimes to communicate to the public and our pool of potential clients, even existing clients, all the different things we can do to help them. And one thing that we've done over the past year and a half is you may have seen some free reports from Zweig Group, which is where we will take some new data that we got from our surveys, and maybe we'll look at that data over time. We may look at that in comparison to what those numbers were 5 years previous, and we can put together some trends. And I think that this has really been able to help people. I think we've done this with salaries. People are able to benchmark themselves. We've done this with fees, things like that. And then they can come to us later and we can give them even more insight on that particular topic. But we've really been able to show people that we have some good data and some good insight on a really wide variety of topics.
Okay. So following that train of thought, and help me out here if I slip up in any way, if I were the owner of an MEP firm, if you will, and I was trying to, aside from just knocking on the doors of potential clients, if I wanted to create something of value, you're saying that I can do something along those lines, maybe create a report. Say I'm an MEP firm that works in the educational arena, and I work with K through 12 schools, that maybe I would create a report on the benefits of commissioning buildings so that school systems can then have more energy efficient properties. And maybe I do a report that kind of highlights the benefits of that and the type of money that can be saved in a school system if they have all of their buildings commissioned properly from an MEP standpoint. Would that make sense to send out to potential clients?
Absolutely. And I think the thing that's so great about today and the technology that we have is that if you do create something that's really good, you can go viral so quickly on the internet.
Right.
So you start putting out some pieces of information. It used to be that you would have to send it to the right person at the right newspaper in order to get published. And that's just not the way it is anymore.
Yeah.
You can do something, share it a few times. If people like what you have to say and see the value in it, they'll continue to share it. And before you know it, you've got, hundreds or thousands or even more people looking at something that you made and seeing you as an expert in that area.
Okay. So let me take it a little bit further. Are you in a position now through the marketing group that if a firm contacted you from the design industry and said, "Hey, Christy, I heard this podcast. That really sounds like a great idea. We want to find a different way to reach our target audience." Are you guys doing reports like that, or could you do a report like that for somebody in the design industry?
Definitely. And that's the direction that we're going in as well. Now I've also had the experience working with 2 different marketing platforms, and I can use both of them very well at this point. So we have ways of tracking the way in which people are sharing things that you create and being able to collect information from those people and follow them so that you can reach out to them in the best way possible.
Okay. All right. I guess it sounds like it's a way to get some marketing bang for your buck.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, cool. So what else is going on here at Zweig Group for 2017? I know you guys we actually just came off, you guys and myself included, but we just came off our annual retreat last week. And, I know a lot of things are planned for this year. What are you hoping to accomplish within your group that's maybe a little bit different from what has been done in the past?
As far as marketing Zweig Group?
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, we just really want to keep going forward with everything we've been doing. And I think you're going to see a lot more different forms of media from Zweig Group. So more podcasts. These have been great. I think we're going to have some better videos and content just delivered in all kinds of different ways.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I think that that's huge because I think nowadays people are consuming information in so many different ways. It's not just reading an email or opening up a book or a survey, but they're looking at videos on their phone. They're listening to a podcast on their phone. So people are consuming information in a lot of different ways. And now that we carry pretty much a portable computer in our pocket, we can deliver that information whenever we want. So.
Absolutely. And it has to be fun.
Yeah.
I think the other thing too is you're going to see lots of new events from Zweig Group. Okay. All of our events are also expanding. Our awards program is expanding. And I think just lots of fun, good stuff.
Okay. So, and speaking of awards programs and events, and I know our big event is Hot Firm, and that's taking place in, I believe it's the third week in September of this year in Seattle, Washington, which I think is going to be an outstanding event. And we're doing a couple of things differently this year than we've done before. I know we're doing a VIP program, and we have a program for spouses for this Hot Firm event. But do you want to tell everybody why they should even care about Hot Firm, and what does it do for our industry?
Absolutely. Well, the Hot Firm Conference itself is a celebration of all of Zweig Group's awards. So that's Best Firms to Work For, Marketing Excellence, Hot Firm, which gives awards to the 100 fastest growing AEP and environmental consulting firms in the industry, as well as a Jerry Allen Courage and Leadership Award winner. And I think we may even add some more awards in this year that we haven't done before. But I think these awards are so important because it really does give you a way to show the people that work for you that you care, to show the public that you're doing a good job and you care about your firm. So with Hot Firm, I think growth is so important. We all know it's important to keep your firm growing. It means more opportunities for your staff. It means more opportunities for your clients. It's great. And having that Hot Firm designation shows that you really are competitive with the rest of the market, and you're measuring your growth and you're making things happen. Yeah. Best Firms to Work For is such a great program because everybody knows being a good place to work is important. Keeping employee morale is high is just so important. It leads to better work. It leads to more opportunities. And being able to measure and track your progress in this year over year and have a designation is just the best way to show the public that that's what you're doing. The thing also about that program that's so cool is just by participating, you get a report of your employee survey responses. So in itself, it's a way for you to look at your own firm and see, are we doing well in this area? Do we need to improve here? Do we need to change some things? Do we need to look at our policies? Mm-hmm. And you can see, okay, yeah, we're on the right track, or no, maybe we should try some different things.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. And I know I've always tried to articulate, what is Hot Firm to, clients of ours and other people that have heard about it. And when I try to explain it, the closest thing that I can just liken it to is the Inc. 500, 5,000, for the overall business community. But this is kind of like the design industry version of that, because we try to capture all of those indices of a successful company and then distribute it out and let everybody see what the best firms are doing, so that at least firms that are coming up, new companies in the design industry, have some type of benchmark that they can go after to be successful.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's awesome. That's awesome. So tell us, is there anything else that you kind of have up your sleeve right now, or something that you're hoping to try that you think might be needed in the design industry this year that maybe it's kind of like in the workshop, so to speak, that you'd like to unveil this year?
I think just marketing automation has been so powerful, and I really want to be able to share that with more people. The way in which you can be both, personalized and understanding what your clients are going through, but at the same time, automate some things, make things more efficient, and also make the process of everything faster. So if you have a client that wants to know something more about you or needs some information, make sure that they get that as quickly as possible and they're, hooked up with the right person right away.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, I know you've also written some really fantastic articles in the Zweig Letter, and we'll certainly have to link to some of those in the show notes for this episode of the Zweig Letter podcast. But is there anything else that that you can think of right now that you're seeing as a pattern in the design industry when it comes to marketing? Maybe a mistake that you're seeing a lot of firms make that, with even the simplest of fixes, they can tweak it and improve upon their ability to effectively market their mission and message within their organization.
I think it's a reluctance to get on social media. I think everybody is starting to kind of figure out this social media thing, and they're starting to dabble in it. But I still see a lot of, firms in the industry are a little bit scared of it. They're saying, I don't know what's going to happen, or I don't know what to post. I'm not sure what I should do. And I think people need to jump right in. They need to embrace it. They need to figure out how to connect with people using that medium and go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. I always joke whenever I go see a client, I'll ask them, well, are you on Twitter? And they'll say, yeah, we have a Twitter account. And then I look on their Twitter account and the last post was in 2013.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's totally crickets. It's like, there's nothing happening here. So, well, you bring up a good point too about, I know we've got new capabilities in our group when it comes to website design and development and things of that nature, and that has tended to be one of the, surprisingly, it's one of the areas that we find firms just kind of forget about, and even in our industry where these are firms that design some of the greatest buildings, some of the greatest projects, yet when it comes to their own marketing and own their own website and everything else, it just kind of falls off the cliff, and there's like there's nobody at home to keep track of that, and it's almost a shame. I know you see it a lot in the industry.
Definitely. And I think it's really a matter of getting the right person that can do that for you, that you trust, that is going to get the job done. I think with the social media, a lot of times, when you're building something, you need a lot of levels of approval, and you need to have a lot of checks, and everything needs to be thought out. And it's not that a Facebook post or a tweet doesn't need to be well thought out, because it does, but it may not need 4 levels of people checking and approving in order for it to go out. You've got to be able to compose things quickly. You've got to be able to respond quickly, and you need to have somebody there you can trust that can do all of that instantly without, having to do research or put it by somebody else.
Okay. So I guess if a firm reached out to you for some feedback or advice with a website review, would you guys be able to do that?
Absolutely. That's something we've been doing.
Okay. All right. Great. Well, I'm glad we finally twisted your arm and got you to come on. And, I know there's some interesting things about you personally. There's some cool things that you've been doing. You've got a farm and a whole bunch of other really cool eclectic stuff that's going on. And I guess for the listening audience, I really consider this an honor, because I've actually known Christy since before she was probably old enough to drink, I guess, and old enough to drive. And I remember you from back in the day during my first stint at Zweig when I was an owner in the firm before we sold off. And you have certainly matured and become an outstanding colleague and a woman. And so I'm really excited just to have you on for that. But, I want the audience to learn a little bit more about you and who the real Christy Zweig Niehaus is. And of course, for those of you that hear the last name Zweig, yes, this is Mark's daughter. It is his oldest daughter. I'm sure she'll say the best one, but Mark has 4 daughters, and Christy is leading the pack in more ways than one. But we just got a couple of simple questions that we'll end our interview with, and hopefully we'll have some fun in the process. Christy, what was the last book that you read?
Actually, I read A Dog's Purpose, and Bob Duran, who is the head of our media group, gave it to me at our planning meeting last week. And he said, you better get some tissues if you're going to read this, because it's sad. It'll touch your heart. Right. I loved it. I read it on Saturday morning. I picked it up and I didn't put it down until it was done.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So what was the synopsis of the book?
It basically follows a dog who is reincarnated through various other dogs and his path and the people whose lives he touches. Oh,
is that the one that their motion pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. I've seen that. I've seen the trailer for that. I cannot wait to see that movie. So, and it's like, it seems like it's a tearjerker.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay. I can't wait to see the movie too now.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Very cool. So where did you, and you're recently married, I guess it's been over a year now, but where did you go on your last vacation? I don't know if it was your honeymoon or where have you most recently been?
I think the last vacation we took was to go to Rolex, Kentucky.
Okay.
In Lexington, Kentucky.
Okay.
And that's North America's only 4-star event. I do a sport with horses called eventing, and it's kind of like a horse triathlon. Right. And this is the big one. Obviously, I was not riding in it. There's a lot of Olympians riding in it, and people that are really at the top of our sport. And it's huge. There's like 100,000 spectators. There's all kinds of stuff going on. A big trade fair, all kinds of demonstrations, and it's so fun. It's good food, good drink. It's much better than golf. I know probably people will disagree with me on that, but It's kind of like that. You get to walk around the whole course and, there's a horse going by and you stand at one combination for a while. Yeah. Well, now I know you love horses. I believe your farm is Always August. That's correct. Okay. Yes. And so what is it like? I mean, it's almost like, we always tell people, you hear people say, oh, well, I have a side gig or I do this. I mean, you basically run a farm. How are you able to maintain your composure? Because you're always here early and, you get so much work done. How are you able to do that and run a farm at the same time? I guess it's just multitasking. And, I'm lucky here at Zweig Group. I can be a little flexible with my work hours, although normally I'm here 9 to 5 at the very least. But I think it's just, the farm, I love it so much. I don't think of it as work at all. It's my favorite thing to do, wake up in the morning, go out and feed the horses and see how everybody's doing and what they're doing. I don't think of it as work. It's my lifestyle. Yeah, that's very cool. I've had a privilege to be at your farm a number of times since it's not terribly far from where I live. And you've been kind enough to have me and my 3 sons over to ride the horses and hang out and ride mini bikes and all that. So it certainly is a great place to check out. And so anybody that's listening to this podcast that's ever in the Northwest Arkansas area, you should always come check us out here at Zweig and check out Christy's Always August farm. I mean, it's pretty cool. Last question that I have for you is if you could binge watch one TV series, old or new, what would it be? That is such a tough question. You turned me on to Longmire. Yes. On Netflix. And so I kind of get mad at you because, I started watching it and then I couldn't stop watching it. So, and I'm having a very addictive personality. So once I start something, I can't stop. And so, but what do you... I'm going to have to say it either have to be Hell on Wheels or Peaky Blinders. Okay. But I want to have some new series, new seasons for Peaky Blinders. So I'm going to do that. I want to see what's going to happen next. All right. And what did you turn MZ on to? When I say MZ, I'm speaking of Mark Zweig. What did you turn him on to recently that he can't stop talking about? Shameless. Yes. Yeah. That's it. I'm watching that right now. And I actually don't watch that much TV, but now that it's wintertime, it gets dark a lot earlier. Yeah. So I'm having, an hour or so in the evening where I can actually relax and not be just outside. Exactly. But yeah, the reason my mom is from the south side of Chicago, and that's where it takes place. And I think it's been fun for both of us to kind of watch those characters. Okay. All right. Very cool. Very cool. Well, Christy, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule on a holiday, nonetheless, to be with us on the Zweig Letter interview series. We really, really appreciate it. You're welcome. Thank you. Yep. So listen, folks, as a reminder, all Zweig Group Media programs like this one are available in both podcast and in most cases video format, free for download on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and YouTube, just to name a few places. We'd like to thank you for watching this in video if you see it that way, or if you're listening to the podcast by offering you a free 6-week subscription to the Zweig Letter. Just visit freetzl.zweiggroup.com. A link to all of this information, including some links to Christy's most recent articles, as well as her contact information, will be in our show notes. Listen, we would love it if you would share this link with a friend. Let them know all about the Zweig Letter Podcast. I really would appreciate it. I'm Randy Wilburn, and you've been listening to Zweig Group Media, part of Zweig Group. Remember, we exist to make you more successful. Bye for now.
Thanks for tuning in to this Zweig Letter Podcast. We hope that you can apply the Zweig team's no-holds-barred advice to your daily professional life. For a free 6-week subscription to the Zweig Letter, please visit freetzl.zweiggroup.com to gain more wisdom and inspiration, in addition to information about leadership, finance, HR, and marketing your firm. Subscribe today.